Justin Baldoni just flipped the entire Hollywood script. While the world expected him to vanish into the shadows after the explosive fallout with Blake Lively, he's doing the exact opposite. He isn't just surviving the industry firestorm. He's reportedly preparing to reclaim the narrative in a way that no one saw coming. The whispers of a career-ending scandal have been replaced by a much louder reality. Justin holds the keys to the kingdom, and he's not afraid to use them. The era of silence is officially over, and the industry is bracing for what happens when the supposed underdog refuses to back down. This isn't just a comeback, it's a complete takeover that has Blake's team scrambling to control the damage before it's too late. The facade of the untouchable A-list couple is rapidly cracking under the pressure of non-stop headlines. For years, Blake Lively was the gold standard of Hollywood glamour, but that image is being replaced by a much darker mean girl label that refuses to wash off. Every time a new detail leaks about her alleged behavior on set or her aggressive legal tactics, the public backlash intensifies. It's no longer just about a movie promotion gone wrong, it's about a systematic collapse of a carefully curated brand. Insiders say the atmosphere behind the scenes is pure chaos, as Blake tries to navigate a world that has suddenly turned its back on her. The industry is watching, and the verdict from the internet is becoming increasingly clear. The fashion world, once Blake's most loyal playground, is reportedly starting to feel the chill. Rumors are swirling that major design houses were actually hesitant to dress her for the Met Gala this year. For a woman who was once the undisputed queen of the red carpet, the idea that she needed a legendary figure like Anna Wintour to personally intervene is a massive blow to her ego. It suggests that her association has become toxic for brands that value a clean, controversy-free image. When the gatekeepers of high fashion start second-guessing your presence, you know the situation has moved beyond simple gossip. This is a high-stakes reputation crisis that could cost her millions in future partnerships and endorsements. Even the most powerful allies in Hollywood can only do so much when the public tide turns so violently. Reports claim that while Anna Wintour did help secure Blake's arrangements for major events, the underlying hesitation from designers speaks volumes. These luxury houses live and die by their public perception, and they are terrified of being dragged into the mean girl narrative that currently follows Blake everywhere. They don't want their gowns associated with lawsuits, leaked on-set drama, and internet debates. This shift from being the ultimate fashion darling to a liability is one of the most shocking developments of the entire controversy. It marks the moment when the industry's whispers turned into actual, tangible consequences for her career. Perhaps the most telling moment of this entire saga is the reported clash over non-disclosure agreements. During settlement negotiations, Blake's side allegedly pushed for ironclad NDAs that would have buried this story forever. They wanted a permanent gag order on interviews, podcasts, and any future discussions about what really happened on that set, but Justin Baldoni reportedly refused to sign his life away. By rejecting the silence, he effectively kept the door open for his version of the truth to eventually surface. That refusal alone sent a clear message to Hollywood. He isn't interested in hiding, and he isn't afraid of the repercussions. It was a bold declaration of independence that left Blake's team without the total control they craved. Justin Baldoni's ultimate power play involves the sequel rights to the very franchise that started this mess. He reportedly owns the rights to It Starts With Us, meaning he can move forward with a new project without needing Blake Lively's involvement or permission. Imagine the shock in Hollywood if the person who was supposed to be pushed out of the industry returns to lead the sequel as the hero. It would be one of the wildest plot twists in celebrity history. For Blake, the idea of a sequel moving forward without her, especially one fueled by public sympathy for Justin, is a total nightmare. He isn't just surviving the firestorm, he's potentially building a new empire on the ashes of her previous attempt to take him down. The drama reached a boiling point on Mother's Day when Natasha Heath, the wife of Jamie Heath, posted an emotional video that the internet immediately decoded. Without naming Blake, Natasha talked about a sacred family moment being weaponized against them. This was a direct reference to the controversial birthing video from the It Ends With Us production that Blake allegedly described in a way that Natasha found humiliating. By posting her own version and reclaiming the dignity of that moment, Natasha essentially fired a massive shot at Blake's character. It reminded the public that the mean girl accusations aren't just internet rumors. They are rooted in real people feeling hurt by how they were treated by the A-list star. This pattern of people from the past coming forward to share their experiences is making it impossible for Blake to move on. Every time she tries to pivot the conversation back to her work or her brand, another person connected to the controversy appears to remind everyone why the backlash started. The Natasha Heath situation was particularly damaging because it touched on something so personal and sensitive. It painted a picture of a celebrity who is out of touch with the feelings of those around her. The internet didn't need a name to know exactly who the message was about. The silence from Blake's camp following that post was deafening, further cementing the idea that she has no easy way to defend against these claims. At the center of the legal drama is a single phrase from the settlement that both sides are now trying to weaponize. The wording reportedly stated that Blake deserved to be heard, which her legal team is using as proof that her claims were valid. On the other hand, Justin supporters are quick to point out that being heard doesn't mean your claims were true or that the other person was guilty of anything. It's a semantic war that is playing out in the court of public opinion just as much as in the legal filings. This battle over words shows just how high the stakes are for both parties. Neither side is willing to give an inch, even if it means the controversy continues to spiral out of control for the foreseeable future. Justin Baldoni has somehow transformed from a target into a symbol of Hollywood survival. The more Blake's reputation struggles, the more the public seems to rally around him. He's being viewed as an underdog who stood his ground against a powerful industry machine. People are now flocking to his production company's projects, specifically to show their support. This level of loyalty is incredibly rare in Hollywood, and it's something that money or PR teams can't buy. By staying focused on his work and refusing to engage in petty public mudslinging, Justin has allowed his actions to speak louder than any tabloid headline. He's successfully navigated a situation that would have ended most directors' careers. Meanwhile, Blake is reportedly working on a massive comeback strategy to remind the world why they loved her in the first place. She wants to return to her roots in romantic comedies, hoping that a charming on-screen persona will erase the memory of the recent scandals. But the internet is not making that transition easy. Whenever news of a new project surfaces, the comment sections are flooded with jokes about who would be brave enough to work with her now. The Mean Girl label has become a shadow that follows her into every meeting and every casting discussion. It's a brutal reminder that once the public changes its mind about a celebrity, the path back to the top is paved with constant skepticism. Despite all the anonymous reports claiming that Justin was being blacklisted by major studios, there hasn't been a single public statement to back that up. In fact, many industry insiders are noticing that his production company, Wayfarer, is still operating at full capacity. He's still developing projects, still taking meetings, and still has a dedicated audience. The narrative that his career was over appears to have been a calculated attempt to weaken his position during negotiations. Now that the dust is starting to settle, it's clear that Justin's professional standing is much stronger than his critics wanted people to believe. He's showing that you can survive a Hollywood takedown if you have the truth on your side. Blake's business ventures are also taking a massive hit as the controversy spills over into her brand, Blake Brown. Suddenly, her hair care line is under a microscope, and the reviews are getting brutal. Customers are taking to social media to complain about everything from the scent to the actual effectiveness of the products. While these might have been minor issues before, they are now being framed as part of a larger pattern of disappointment. People are questioning the quality of her brand because they no longer trust the person behind it. It's a classic example of how a personal reputation crisis can quickly become a financial disaster for a celebrity's business interests. One specific detail about the hair care line has triggered a wave of mockery online. Blake's claim that she spent 7 years developing the products. Industry experts and critics are calling out the timeline, noting that celebrity brands usually involve teams of chemists and consultants who handle the heavy lifting. The idea that she was personally in the lab for nearly a decade feels like a marketing exaggeration that has backfired. In the current climate, any statement she makes is being fact-checked and scrutinized for signs of inauthenticity. The public is looking for reasons to doubt her, and these kinds of branding claims are providing plenty of ammunition for her detractors to use against her. The entire situation has become a textbook case of the Streisand effect. By trying so hard to control the narrative and silence the criticism through legal threats and PR spin, Blake's team accidentally made the story much bigger than it ever would have been. If they had ignored the initial movie promotion drama, it likely would have faded away in a few months. Instead, the lawsuits and leaked negotiations transformed a minor scandal into a global obsession. Every attempt to bury the truth only dug the hole deeper. It's a lesson in the dangers of overcalculating a public relations response. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to take accountability, but that's a step Blake's team hasn't taken. Justin Baldoni's production company, Wayfarer Studios, is becoming his greatest asset in this fight. It gives him a platform and a level of independence that most actors and directors don't have. He doesn't have to wait for a major studio to give him permission to work. He can create his own opportunities. This autonomy is exactly why he was able to stand up to Blake's team in the first place. He knows his value doesn't depend on the approval of a few powerful A-listers. By continuing to produce content that resonates with his audience, he is proving that he is a force to be reckoned with in the industry. He's unleashing his creative potential while his critics are stuck playing defense. The silence of Ryan Reynolds throughout this entire ordeal has also been a major topic of discussion. As one of the most beloved figures in Hollywood, his lack of a strong public defense for his wife has been noticed by everyone. People are dissecting their public appearances, looking for any sign of tension or hidden meaning in his jokes. The fact that even his massive PR machine hasn't been able to fix this for Blake says a lot about the severity of the situation. It suggests that even the most powerful couple in Hollywood has limits when it comes to controlling public opinion. The microscope on their marriage has never been more intense, and the pressure is clearly starting to show. A major legal hurdle for Blake involves proving that she did not file her lawsuit with malice. To recover certain fees and gain legal protections, she has to show that her actions were motivated by a genuine belief in her claims rather than a desire to hurt Justin's career. This is an incredibly difficult thing to prove in court, especially when the timeline of the leaks and the public backlash is so closely linked. Legal analysts are skeptical that she will be able to clear this bar easily. It sets the stage for even more public testimony and discovery that could reveal even more embarrassing details about what went on behind the scenes. The legal strategy meant to save her might end up being her undoing. The fear of the mean girl label is real, and it's affecting how Hollywood executives view future collaborations with Blake. In an industry that is increasingly sensitive to workplace culture and social media sentiment, no one wants to be the person who hired a problematic star. Even if she is still a talented actress, the baggage she brings to a project is now a significant factor in any decision. Producers are weighing her star power against the risk of a PR nightmare during the press tour. This is the industry firestorm that Justin survived and Blake is currently drowning in. It's a complete reversal of fortune that has redefined the power dynamics between the two former collaborators. Rumors are already circulating that Justin could eventually write a tell-all book about his experiences during this controversy. Given the public's obsession with the story, it would almost certainly become an instant bestseller. For Justin, it would be the ultimate way to get the final word and share his side of the story without any filters. The mere possibility of a book is likely enough to keep Blake's team on edge. It's a reminder that even if the legal battles end, the narrative can still be shaped by the person who is willing to speak out. Justin's journey from a quiet director to a public figure who refuses to be silenced is a powerful arc that audiences are deeply invested in. The internet treats this entire situation like a high-stakes season of reality television. Every new filing is an episode, every leaked text is a plot twist, and every blind item is a teaser for what's coming next. This level of engagement means that the story isn't going away anytime soon. People have picked their sides, and they are looking for any evidence to support their chosen hero or villain. For Justin, this means a base of incredibly loyal supporters who will follow him to his next project. For Blake, it means a skeptical audience that will be watching her every move for any sign of the mean girl behavior they've been reading about for months. The circus shows no signs of leaving town. In the end, this isn't just about a movie or a set of legal filings. It's about a fundamental shift in how Hollywood power is perceived. For decades, a high-profile A-lister could rely on their status to silence critics and control the media narrative with ease. But the rise of internet scrutiny and the undeniable power of audience loyalty have leveled the playing field for creators like Justin Baldoni. While one side fights to salvage a polished image through legal fees and PR pivots, the other side is quietly building a legacy based on authenticity and resilience. The firestorm may have started as a clash of personalities, but it has ended as a lesson for the entire industry. Sometimes, the person you tried to take down is the one who ends up holding all the cards.